Let me get this recorded. Okay. Just going through the fells. I fell in the fells.
Huh. Shit.
Something go wrong? I heard a shit.
I see. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. He's sharing. That's he must have done. That's what it was.
Now can I?
Yep. See Golden Fields map there.
Okay, yeah. Did you open the link? Like, if I shut this down, will that stay there?
Do you shut what down?
I sent that Zoom. My phone will see because I already did. So.
Okay.
Did it stay?
Yeah, it's
okay. Yeah, there you
go. It is there. And you said you put something out to us someplace?
No, that map.
Just that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna do it through Messenger, and I thought, no, I'll see if I can do it through Zoom.
Yeah, it's easy enough on Zoom.
I did on my phone, but that's why I like there's two of me there for a quick thing, or whatever.
We can handle up to 99, so that's all right.
Yeah. Is Alex there? If Alex is there, you can chime in at any time to let me know. But
I'm here, just on standby.
All right. So
I don't
last
know
time,
how long I'm going to be around, guys. It's my birthday today. But
happy birthday, Alex!
Birthday!
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you.
That's all right. I understand there's shit to do, gifts to receive, cake to eat.
Yeah, happy fetus day.
That's one way to call it.
So when you guys left Waterdeep, you guys traveled along the North Furrow Road. At a point, the wagon traffic along the road had congested and had come to a stop, and you guys went ahead to search to find that there was a strange bellowing sound coming from a ruined tower some ways off the road. You went and you guys ended up shooing away a female hill giant who was there singing a lamentation song about the loss of her lover to another she giant who apparently has absconded all of the male hill giants to be her followers. But you guys shoot her away, traffic left, you guys continued on down the road for some time. On some day, like a day or two after, traveling North Furrow Road, you guys could see a large hulking shape along the horizon, which turns out to be the city of Greenfields itself. Its broad high stone walls go for miles. Like, it's massive. The road leads right up to it. There's more and more wagons as you guys approach, finally up to like this huge gatehouse built into the walls that the road leads up. A slight slope up to these massive doors that goes into the gatehouse. The gatehouse itself is almost like a massive castle with windows and arrow slits. There are guards everywhere, quickly inspecting wagons as they enter. There's also a line of wagons heavily burdened already with supplies leaving. there's quite a bit of hustle and bustle, and these walls are like 60 feet high and literally go for miles. Like, your best kind of guess is that it's like 5 miles square, like 5 miles per side. 60 feet high gray stone walls. You guys rumble along in your wagon and with a few other wagons. The wagons going in are coming in empty or mostly empty, maybe some goods to trade, but the ones coming out are heavily laden with baskets and crates and barrels and sacks and such. And eventually your cart comes up. Some guards step up, typical guards. They got like the pole arms and chainmail and tabards and stuff like that, and they just quickly inspect, and one of them shouts up, "Well met!" And you can see that near like the group of this mingling, like as they walk through all this traffic and stuff like that towards your wagon, that there's also you could see a person in religious vestments walking along with them, a younger lady, and she's escorting also with these guards, and you could see that there are other like other people in religious vestments here and there scattered among with the other groups of guards, and it looks like they're just quickly inspecting all the wagons, and
When the guard comes up to our wagon,
yeah,
Gar will pipe up and say, "Hey, Tiny, you want to arm wrestle? I think I can take you."
he looks at you and kind of assesses the situation, looks at you guys all over, and he says, "You're adventurers?"
Yep.
He says, "I assume you're going to be staying at the North Furrow Inn."
Why?
Is that
Sounds
the
good.
one close to the? Is that the one close to the? Oh God, the famous beer place? Because I must see that, and I must see it.
He says, "Oh, you come to see Golden Gulp Brewery."
Ah,
He
yes,
says,
I must see. I must bless the taps there.
he says that's even
priest
more
apostle.
north. He says that's even more north. It stands within the fields. He says, but he says, "Do you bring in any animals or seeds or anything?"
Yes.
Kind of looks at the back of the wagon.
Horse.
And Gar will say, "Yes," right there, and he'll be pointing at Nicodemus.
The young person in magical vestments steps up, and she says, "Well, Matt, on behalf of Shantea, we welcome you to Greenfields, but," and she kind of gives a little shy shrug, and she says, "But we have to make sure for any vermin or pests that might come in, if you understand. I just want to give a quick looky over," and she motions from your horses to your wagon.
Gar will say, "You can look me over as much as you want. You're almost cute."
She is actually kind of cute. Very like yellow blonde hair.
Okay. But Garl's going to play his normal womanizing line to try to get it inside.
But she's a type where you honestly can't tell if she's like 16 or 26, right? She's like, looks like that kind.
They all look the
Can't
same
tell.
to me once they get that old because they get that tall.
Looking at their knees.
That's right.
I've got a thing for knees. Why is that? That's all I ever see. And
That says so much.
she does, and you could see that she even like casts, like she does like some like motions of her hands and says some mumbles some mystical words. It looks like she's almost praying over your horse and your wagon, and she quickly makes a circle. She doesn't keep you long. She does it fast. And the guards kind of look to it and kind of inspect, and then
it's a bonus action spell.
some. And as she kind of circles, she kind of comes and nods, and then the guard says, "Go on through." And he motions you guys to continue your way on in. You guys go up this low sloping earthen ramp up to the doors, which are wide open. Again, there's more guards. There's some ones that are just not like guards. They are in a uniform of some type, but they're just more lightly armored, and they carry bows with them. And again, you can see arrow slits everywhere, and windows everywhere, and small steel doors as you enter these giant, massive wooden doors. Absolutely massive. And the earthen ramp continues on in. The area between the front gates and the back gates of the wall, because the wall is so thick, is quite a distance, and there's a series of ramps that take you up to the inner gates, which, of course, you're always constantly going up. When you guys do exit the guard or the gate castle,
Yep.
it opens up into like the road continues on ahead, and where you are now, other than occasional wagon, you see mostly orchards, and there's like apples and shit like that. It looks like that they're already in the process of picking, but there's still lots on the trees. There's, are you ready for this? Oranges and lemons orchards. There is some grain silos and some animal pens. And the road, as it goes in, and this is like, don't think of like a city as in hundreds of feet. This is like hundreds of yards, right? Like this is, the road continues through and it goes to a roundabout. And in the center of the roundabout is a 20-foot tall stone statue. And I would say that Nicodemus, you recognize it because it's like a major deity. Silence, you recognize it because you're a bard. And Cloud recognizes it because it is Shantea, the goddess of growing and agriculture and plants and bounty. And she is a bountiful, ample-looking woman, 20 feet high, made of stone. And as it goes, the wagon goes around the roundabout, you get a good look at her. And on the, and this is all heading generally north, right? So as you get around the northern side of her, there's a stone building, and it's called the Lady. I think it's called the Lady's Bounty or Bountiful something. Anyways, and you can see that there are plants hanging and drying. It's like a stone building with an open front, and you can see that there's baskets of stuff, and there is plants hanging from beams, and there's boxes, and there's just tons of like, and I mean tons of I don't know how to describe it, like roots and bulbs and boxes and shelves and bags and a scale. You can even see a well-used scale. And there's a lot of about 4 other people there kind of talking and stuff. And you could see like it looks like money changes hands between them and a woman with like who, and they walk away with like a little basket full of items. And the road goes through. There's animal pens, and I mean animal pens. I don't mean like just a little corral. I mean like you guys come up to a fence and it looks like there's more head of cattle than you could count. Eventually, you make it. Like there you do see the occasional cottage here and there, but eventually you guys get to a I would say about almost a mile in. It kind of, the wheat fields start after like the orchards and animal pens. The wheat fields start, and of course they're wheat fields, right? So and almost in the center you can see a huge area where the village itself stands amongst these wheat fields. Just
Can you
north
make
of,
beer out of wheat, or must you have must it be barley?
it looks like there's both.
Okay, well,
It
at the
looks like there's
barley
wheat on
part,
one side, barley on the other. Yeah.
as I'm walking past there, I will be taking my jug and reaching in there and like dipping my hand into the 4 gallons of beer that I can pour
Mhm.
from. Occasionally, just flicking it into the field, like blessing it like holy water. Like, and that is what you shall grow into be. As I'm flicking the beer over.
Okay.
No water. That's all.
Yeah. No, that's great. And that reminds me, sir, everyone take your inspiration for the day too.
Yes.
On the air, Michael, you even get this faint whiff of hops
Oh,
somewhere.
hops. Oh, there's hops near. I tried to grow
Somewhere.
hops in my front yard, but it didn't rain for a month
Mhm.
after I planted it, and they dried up and died.
Hmm.
Maybe they'll come back. Who knows?
I don't know.
Miracle
But
Grow, brother.
you can see here is like the main, like you guys like you said, coming past like the orchards and the grain silos and the animal pens. It's like where the village proper itself begins, surrounded by these fields. And the village proper looks like it's made up of only 2 stone buildings. There is one that looks like it was like almost like uh it, it clearly looks like a temple, and it's surrounded, well, not surrounded, but there's 2 stone buildings. One looks like a big temple of Shantae, and the other one looks like almost like a big plantation house, kind of castle-y, kind of, but not,
Okay.
as you guys kind of come up, you can see that all these massive roundhouses. You can see that there's like commoners in and out, and there's wagons here and there, and it looks like that the roundhouses are where the commoners, like all the workers, live. And as you pass by each roundhouse, you notice that each one is carved with a specific motif. Like this one's a blue jay, that one's a raccoon, this one is like robin, and that one is like the field mouse, and this one's the deer, and that one is like the bear lodge over there. They're all each to their own motif, but like exquisitely carved. Like anything is beautiful carvings that you would see in like a city like Waterdeep, like just beautifully artisanal sculptors. Yeah, great.
Garl would, at seeing this, really take his breath away and say, "Wow, look at all these clans! And man, they must love their clans. Look at the quality of work that they do to represent their totems."
Some people who hear you guys, you pass, they kind of smile. They're used to like seeing strangers, not always at seeing adventurers, especially ones not as unusual as you guys. But these longhouses are kind of set up in a semicircle, and you can see that they face one fancy building, the one that looks like the Temple of Shantae, and you can see that it's carved with depictions of Shantae at like all the corners and the eaves. It looks like it's like at least 2-3 stories tall, maybe even taller, and it's got like fancy stained glass windows of like wheat sheafs and cornucopias and other such symbols of bounty, like orchards and apples and smiling sun faces and crap like that. As you pass by, you could see that like the rafters are built up so that there's an exposed massive wooden bell, or the wooden rafters expose a massive brass bell on the one side of
Okay, I was
the.
about to say.
Pardon me?
I was about to say wooden bell. Like what?
No, I know.
Huh?
I know. Yeah, no, I just meant the wooden beams and then the brass bell. But there's like fancy steps leading up to the main doors of the temple, which are open, and you can see that sitting on the wide, broad steps by the open door is a pair of brown bears, and you could see that there's like it looks like another Shantea acolyte giving one of them scritches behind the ear. And
That's not weird.
the road itself, and there's like people all over, don't get me wrong, because like it's populated by 5,000 commoners and workers populate Golden Fields. So but a lot of people would be out in the fields and out in the gardens, and you could see that like north as you approach the second stone building, this kind of mansion looking one, this kind of what I call it. Anyways, this big kind of estate house building, as you approach that, you could see that beyond it, going to the north, you could see the wheat and barley fields, and way in the distance, Michael,
Yeah.
like which would be approximately in the center of this entire Golden Fields itself. So it's still maybe another mile or two far, 2 miles distant. You could see just barely what looks like another large edifice with like a tower way in the distance.
Or the tower. Okay.
Like
Is that
it would be in the middle of the fields, right?
Oh, it's a silo.
Well, you already passed grain silos and stuff coming in, so it might be.
Yeah.
As your guys lead into this road, to this big estate house, there's a big, again, very fancy estate house, like glass windows, and you can see that there's like brass lanterns on the outside, and it's all made out of nice stone, and beautifully carved, and a beautifully carved wooden sign, brightly painted. It says North Furrows End, and you can see that there's chimneys with some smoke coming out, and basically, and nearby, just adjacent to it, is a large stable. People coming in and out.
Can we store our horse over there in that stable?
Looks like it.
Did you guys see that I saw? Those brother bears up there, just sitting there being rubbed behind the head, just like they were a pair of kittens.
Yeah, that is weird. That is definitely weird. They won't. Our horse, right?
They'll be an easy kill. Just think how much food we could get out of them.
Somehow I think the locals won't approve of that.
Well, that might be. That might be.
You guys come up to like this big stable, and you can see there are other horses. There are wagons. Again, parked under like kind of an awning style thing, and someone right away will come and help you, and a 14, 15-year-old boy dressed in pretty much just like a pair of like work pants, doesn't even have a shirt on, no shoes, nothing. He just comes running out, and you can see he's got some straw in his hair, and he kind of comes running out, and he's like, "You want to keep your horse here?"
Yeah. Do you need shoes, shirt, anything?
No, they just get horse shit on them anyways. I put it
Fair.
back on when I go home.
Oh,
Where's
okay.
home?
He goes, I'm with Blackbird Lodge.
So
And he
you
points.
say.
He kind of looks at you like, whatever. So, you want to keep your horse in your wagon? It's a silver for the
Yeah.
horse, silver for the wagon, a day.
Okay. All right.
How about 2 copper a day?
He blows his bangs. He's like, we'd be staying at the North Furrow end.
Is that the one near the Golden Goal?
He kind of, oh, no. He turns around and points way out to the fields. He says, that's where the brewery is.
That's the tower?
He said, well, no, the tower's where like the captain of the watch lives, keeps his guards, but the brewery's attached.
Oh, okay. So the brewery's at the bottom of it, like the tower. All right.
There's a big building with the tower attached. The guard or the captain of the watch and the guards use the tower, and the brewery's in the building. And he points and he says, and there, and you can see that there's like a kind of in between. You can see that there's like a windmill. He says, there, that's where the spring is. That's where they get the watery for the gulp. But they do make the mugs here. And he points to
Mugs?
like, yeah.
What do they make the mugs out of?
Well, there's a kiln in the back. They just make, he goes, you got to go see. They're really beautiful, but he doesn't like to sell them. Although they do go missing. After all, he used to make them all the time. But he says, you can pay at the North Furrow if you're staying there.
All right. I suppose we will.
And he kind of smiles when he sees you get down, Michael, with your goat feet.
Ah, yeah. Never
Wow.
seen a sailor before, boy?
I didn't think you guys ever came out of the Feywild.
Well, sometimes when there are important things to do, for example, bless your beer here. I mean, wouldn't that just help it out a bit to have it blessed by a sailor of the Feywild?
Wow. Sure wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
Garl will say, you see goats out in the fields, don't you?
Well, yeah. And he kind of motions to where you guys came from, to the animal pens.
And Garl will say, they're just satyrs there and hiding, that's all. Just scoping you out.
Yeah, and you see rocks out in the field on occasion? They're hiding gnomes.
Yes! We are proud of our rock and our rock skills.
You guys are weird.
Comes of a territory.
And
You're
she
not
has a
much
wonderful
better.
voice.
Oh. Are you here to sing with Oren?
Who's Oren?
DM just passing through.
Oh.
Oren.
Oh, he's a halfling bard.
Sounds like fun to sing with.
He's pretty good, but... And he kind of makes like a drinky motion.
Yes, well, we don't do our services for free.
Well, he's usually stumbling around at nighttime howling, so...
Yeah, like most halflings, they're in their cups most of the time. Not too serious.
He
Eat
nods.
and drink. Sleep.
He nods in agreement. You can see that he's already started like unhitching the horses, and the horses are like really calm with him. Like they didn't like give him any stranger danger at all. They're just yeah, and he even like for nothing for him to even like scooch underneath on hitch, and he disconnects them from the wagon, leads them just a little ways away to get more room to free up their feet so he can actually start taking the tack off. And a couple other guys come out and start doing the other horse and will lead off the horses. And he's like, take whatever you want from your wagon. And he says, there's always someone here guarding stuff, so nothing should get stolen, but take anything of value.
Okay. Well, I pretty much carry
Might
this
as well.
on me.
Mhm.
Stuff in the wagons, the stuff that, well, you know.
Like I said, it's pretty much like,
Any rumors or problems going on around here? Like, or like issues with giants. You know anything about that?
oh yeah, he said because he's trying to think 6 weeks ago, a month ago, he says a bunch of giants, he points to the east, he says a bunch of giants came out of the Forlorn Hills and were throwing stones at the wall, and well, the archers managed to repel them, but I don't know. Some people say they'll be back. I don't know.
Well, don't worry, because the protectors of Bronshire are here to help and protect you now. And if you don't believe it, our bard will sing our accolades of how we've slain multiple dragons and orcs and giants and goblins and he'll garl and like that.
Coming, you can see that like he's kind of standing there listening to you guys, and a older man, like about 30, comes up, and he says, "Hey," and the calculator, he's like, "Get back cleaning those pens," and the kid just takes off, and the guy kind of looks at all you and he says, "You hear about the giants?"
Oh yeah, yeah. We're known giant slayers.
And I'm sure you heard of our mighty aerial combat technician, Cloud here. He's our eyes in the sky. Do you guys require flying permits in this area?
And he kind of shakes his head. No. He's like, nothing I know of. Were you actually sent here by the sheriff?
No, we weren't sent here by the sheriff, but
No one sends us. We go and conquer. And Garl will get up there and he'll do one of those Atlas poses.
Looking better every time.
Yes. I knew all that extra sleep would help.
I'm sure your greenness would agree.
Well, she might, or the other love of my life there, the cloud giant, or the other love of my life, the frost giant. Yes, we got to keep them. There's not enough of Garl to go around, but it's a hard job. But I'll do it.
I'm sure you'll have many lives to spend.
Well, many lives to spend, yes.
but I'm assuming that you're a captain of the guard in that tower right near the beer hall.
Okay, what was that, Michael? Sorry?
I believe your captain of the guard will be at the beer hall.
He says, you mean, well, Strog. I was just looking up his name. Strog Thunderblade. He
He'll
says,
be at
is
that
that who you
tower.
hired? Well,
He hasn't hired us as of yet, but we're here to offer our services.
well, Eventually, yeah. I mean, North Furrow's End, that's really, it's the only tavern around, an inn in town. He says, if people don't live here, that's where they'll be. And he says, and Strog, well, he eventually makes his rounds. But, yep. And, he says, I'll make sure that your wagon gets set aside.
Well, thank you, good sir. Now make sure it's all there. We want a complete loot job on those axles.
All right. And he looks at Silence and he says, I might even see you later. Coming to hear you play a song or two.
Well, I hope my voice is warmed up by then.
You got a new fan, Silence? Oh, aren't you good? You just get in town and get a new fan.
Yeah, it's okay. And the North Rose End is like a three-story building. Like it's just east of where you guys are currently. When you guys come around the building, you notice that like the main entrance has like it comes up these stairs and it's grand. Like this was like must have been like a mansion at some point in its history because like it has on each side a statue, a life-size statue of a rearing horse pawing the air with its hooves. On both sides of these like massive oaken doors, the fancy sign, the North Furrows End. As you enter into like the big like foyer, it's all like marble floors and stuff like just chandeliers, but the comforting smells of a tavern, and you can tell by the people in here that you guys are not like underdressed. Like the building is a beautiful old heritage building, but it's been a fully serviced inn and tavern. And the bar itself is like wooden and immaculate and glossy. And there's tables and big fireplaces. And working behind the bar is a massive human dude, but he's like got like a huge barrel chest and long arms. But the most differentiating trait from him is that his arms and it looks like even his shoulders and neck and head are covered in dense white hair. Like you remember George the Animal Steel? He's like that, but Snow White.
Okay. Yeah, he was a hairy motherfucker.
Yeah, but his like it literally looks like he's wearing like a fur jacket. He's just, and it's Snow White, and even like his head is short cropped hair, short cropped beard, but it's all Snow White. And he's just a big burly barrel chested man, and he's like bartending and talking to people and laughing. He got such a fucking big voice too in that big barrel chest.
Garl will go up to the wall because this is a stone wall, right?
Oh yeah.
And he's going to rub the stone, and he's going to say, "This is quality stone and quality work."
In fact, there's a fossil right there, just like some sort of like trilobite or something like that. Right.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the bartender.
Oh no, just like right in the stone right there. It was just like the area you first approach, you can see there's like a fossil of like a trilobite about the size of your hand.
But Garl will be complimenting the stone and the architecture and the place to the bartender, the old gray white slinger of brews.
Okay, and he sees you guys kind of approach and walk up, and he says, "Oh, well, man." He
Huh.
looks over the bar, kind of down.
Excuse me, sir, but I must bless this establishment in the beer hand as a priest of Bacchus,
Oh,
so you can understand how this has to be done. I've heard tales of your beer, and I must claim it for Bacchus. Now, to start this procedure, I'll need a pitcher of your finest.
ha! I'll top you there. And he turns around, and you can see that and you can hear like clank clank, not like the thunk thunk of wooden mugs, but like or the thuck thuck of like dull clay mugs, but these are like a tink tink. And you can see he turns around, and he taps out, and for each of you guys a massive like ceramic stein for each one of you. He pours, and it's a very yellow ale, and right on the like the ceramic mug itself is like embossed with like a wheat sheaf, and it's all painted green and gold. And he fills each one up for each of you guys and puts it down nice frothy, and it looks fresh and crisp, and it just makes you drool the instant he sets it down in front of you. And he says first one is always on the house. And he sets it down and crosses his arms
Well, if that's the
proudly.
case, if that's the case, there, I'll have a gnomish brandy instead.
I like this guy. And he turns around and he goes. He's like to a shelf with a bunch of bottles, and he's digging around. And eventually he comes with a bottle and a clean glass, and he pours it, and he says, "But you still gotta pay for the brandy." And he puts it down.
That's no problem. And
he puts it down. And what's your favorite brand?
It would be called Duran's Cauldron.
And that's what it is.
And he'll say how much for the brandy. Garl actually.
The whole bottle is 10 gold.
10 gold. Oh, man. Let me see what Garl has.
For that drink, 1 gold.
Before I go. Okay, no problem. He'll Garl buy the bottle. Give him 10 gold. I gotta change that on the sheet now. And then what he'll do is he'll take what size is the glass that he brought? Was it a shot glass?
Whiskey glass.
Whiskey. Then he'll go ahead and he'll fill up about 1 shot's worth of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll say, "Here's one for you. I bet you haven't seen too many do this." And with that ale in front of him,
mm-hmm.
he'll pour that brandy right on down into the center of the ale, and then start drinking on it.
And as I said, the ale is somehow even chilled. It just
how do you do that?
Slides.
I say after I down the whole glass. Now that's just how we bless ale on the Feywild.
Let me join you. And he fills one up for himself.
Here, have a little brandy to go with
it. He's like, where have you all come from? Come, I'll get you a table, one near the fire.
Originally, we've had many adventures of late. For example, we ran off some goblin invaders and some Zentarum at Nightstone. Then we went to deliver a message to them to their new leader, since their king with their queen, their lady was killed in the battle against some giants. Fortunately, we arrived too late to slay the giants that were attacking Nightstone. But then in Bryn Shander, they were assaulted by frost giants, and we were essential in driving off the frost giants, especially, I might add myself, for slaying the good Queen Trophy. Surely you've heard of this. Then we tracked the frost giants down, ran them off from their thing, and captured another one and brought his head back to Bryn Shander. After helping Fireshear with some problem of an intruder, afterwards we repelled another frost giant invasion from somewhere. Some mining community.
Fire shear, yeah.
Oh, Fireshear with the more. Oh, who are the freaking?
Or no, yeah.
Who are the
Fire
dwarves?
shear. That's no. I'm trying. Iron Guard.
Yeah.
Iron Guard?
Iron
Okay,
Master.
Iron Guard was where the dwarves were.
Iron
Fireshear-
Master.
Iron
Fire
Master.
shear is that? Yeah.
Iron Master is where we helped them with some intruder problem. And then at Fireshear, we chased off some frost giants who were raiding. And then we traveled to Luskin. And
Which is like a real shithole.
yeah, it's a real shithole. It is. and then we helped repel another frost giants as they were invading Port Last. And then the Zansel's house, we ran off some goblin chucker ogres with another giant leading them. And then the Waterdeep, where we held council and kept the violence from erupting with a frost giant castle over the top of Waterdeep. We heard that you were having problems with giants here and figured, well, since we're so effective, we might see what needs you all have.
And as Nicodemus ends that on up, Garl will look to Silence and Nicodemus and say, what happened to our other two party members? They've been kidnapped while we've been enjoying this company. And then he'll look
for a
up.
drink.
He'll look up to the bartender. Did you Shanghai them?
I thought they just went off for a drink to a different bar.
Maybe, I don't know. I know they were there, and now they're not. If they said that, it must have went over my head.
Oh, and I even forgot about Warvel too. I always forget about him. He's there. He's just keeping his mouth shut, as he does around strangers. But you can tell he's really enjoying like the accommodations. It's very nice here, but like I said, not posh where you feel uncomfortable. It's just food smells awesome. Like you can smell food in the back, and he has like given order. He's like, you guys are all sitting at a table near a fireplace, a big table. The drinks are regular price after the first one. First one's always on the house.
Yeah, but reach the Bacchus.
Well, business is business. He himself, you find out that before he, like, you guys end up asking like if he was an adventurer. He's such like a loud, burly guy, and he wasn't. But he actually worked for a traveling carnival as a sideshow act. He called himself the Yeti.
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, so that's how I made my living. And eventually I, took over ownership of the North Furrows End.
How'd you do that?
Well, years ago we came through here, and I thought it was just a beautiful place. Everything you could want for food, drink, comfort. And he says, and the natural surroundings are just beautiful. He says, like, there's a lot of respect for nature and all the comforts of home. He says, so when I first, he says, I kind of got a bum leg my knees are getting bad. And he says, once I got out of the business, I thought, well, I'd come up here first thing. And I thought I'd get a job. And the owner at that time said he was actually looking to sell. He himself was an old guy and wanted to get on. Well, when you're traveling around, there's not much to spend money on, so I had quite a bit saved up. And made a deal, and I had to get a bit of a loan, and I paid that off years ago. This has been my home since. There's a few locals I'd call friends, and some as close as even family, but he says, I love this old place. He says, I'm making gold gulp and get to talk to everybody that comes through here.
What kind of hops you use in the Golden Gulp?
Oh, he tells you.
Oh,
I don't know. I have no idea. He says, oh, the fields are actually just kind of northeast from here. He says, but the brewery itself, he says, there's that old keep and tower basically in the center of Golden Fields itself. He says that's where the brewery is kept. He says, I make the Hello?
Hello?
hello,
Hello?
hello.
I hear you.
I can hear you.
Maybe Roland can't hear us. I don't know.
That's very strange. Usually it's me that disappears from the ether. Well, into the ether.
Yeah, you're having a good internet night tonight.
I've only lost connection once.
Oh, he must be talking to,
Yeah, it's work. It's a home thing.
yeah.
Home.
Must be.
I hear him in the background there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I got a phone call on the other phone, yada yada.
Okay.
My white cane broke
Huh.
in May, and I Millennium Falconed it together, right? Like I just jerry rigged it together. Of course, you know how it is. It breaks, so now it's breaking more, and every time it breaks, it is a Millennium Falcon, right? It's just jerry rigged together. But I just got a phone call finally because I ordered a cane, and I'm like, okay, what happened to my cane? And they're like, oh, because they said it would be here, and like that was supposed to be July, and it wasn't here. And anyways, this whole back and forth, and it's been back ordered, and yada yada, and from the company that manufactures it, and they just phoned to say they finally have it in their hands. So now they're gonna mail it to me. It should be here this week.
Oh, great.
That's very good news.
Oh yeah, my cane, it just looks like a straight Millennium Falcon jerry rigged together. You should see how I have it just piecemealed together. Like, what with like extra screw? Like I broke the tip off. That was the first break. So I filed it smooth, and then I just like took the rubber tip and put a bigger screw and some Gorilla Glue and a clamp. And that was the first one, but it was too short, and then I blew the other end off. Some more
You
Gorilla
blew
Glue.
it off?
Yeah, like the other end, like I don't know, it broke off.
I'm
so
still
then it
stuck
was
in the
fully-
blue bit. You mean like gunpowder blew up? Kapow?
No, it just collapsing because it's telescopic.
Oh.
There's two types of canes. There's a one type that's like a tent pole, where it segments with an elastic through the center, and then it segments together. And then there's a telescopic one like a antenna on a radio or whatever. And that's the kind I like. And anyways.
I'm kind of with Silence. I was picturing you taking a 44 Magnum and shooting the end off the other end of the cane there because you got frustrated with it.
Well, and you know what? And this last one was graphite too. So
Oh.
technically, that's what it needed, but it just shows that like how even at 35 below, how that stuff makes little difference, right?
Yep.
That's what it was. It was 35 below, and I closed it, and I kind of slammed it too hard, and it just blew out the other end.
I don't know about you, but a sawn-off stick, a sawn-off cane sounds more scary than a sawn-off shotgun.
Oh no. In fact, people say, "Oh, what do you do? Use it to hit people with?" It's like it's kind of pointless. It's just the only way it would be lethal is actually collapsed, or not lethal, dangerous, as if it was collapsed.
And you were on a bridge.
Well, no, I'm just saying if it was extended, it's just kind of like a, like a car, like a radio antenna. Like it's not really gonna.
Well, that graphite makes it awful light, but sturdy.
Yeah, a fishing rod. But the thing is collapsed. When you collapse it down, and it's only like the 10-inch thing, then because now if I were to like, I mean, if I were to hit someone in the ribs with it, I'm sure I would like break a rib, right? Or you hit someone, smash someone in the face with the end. That's what a short stick is almost.
Well, it
better.
depends if you're going for the soft bits, because if you're going for really soft bits, yeah, you'll cause quite a bit of damage.
Oh yeah, you always, yeah. In fact, that's a friend of mine was into martial arts, and he was showing me stuff like that about, because I can't remember what it's called. It's just literally like a martial arts weapon. It's just a short stick. It's like under a foot long. Like it's only like 8 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like textured. And the reason it's textured, because if you roll it, like on the back of someone's hand, if someone grabs you, you just got to roll that on the back of their hand, and it's one of the most painful things I've ever experienced. Because the way it's textured, the way it hits that bone, it's terrible. So someone grabs you, you can just like rub it on the back of their hand, and they're going to let go, and then you just backhand them in the face with it, and you're going to break their jaw or their cheekbone.
That sounds handy. And you can hide it.
Yeah, and it's just a stick. Anyways, that has nothing to do with anything. But the North Furrows End is nice. He's a Yeti, or he used to be the Yeti. He talks to you guys. You guys get food and you're eating, and he's like, "Oh, excuse me, please." And you can see that he gets up and he kind of hustles over, and there's a middle-aged woman enters, and you can see that she looks scholarly somehow in her robes, and maybe it's her spectacles, maybe it's the books and scrolls under her arms, but he kind of hustles over, and over the din and general din in here, you can't hear what he's saying to her, but he kind of like I don't know what's the word, like toddles over her, and she's kind of looks almost like a little bit brisk with him, and she just goes and settles off to a table in the corner somewhere and starts spreading out her papers and such.
Well, seeing her spread out the papers and like that, Darrell will get down and he'll probably teeter a little bit after that brandy shot and beer makeshift Boilermaker, and then kind of get a little brave and go over there, because he likes papers, and he'll try to assist her, or that's at least the guys that he's going to play to assist her with her papers, whether it's holding him like that. And what he's going to looking for are signatures and seals on them, so he can try to notice them and try to remember them so he can remake them.
You very easily spot a heraldic sign, and you're like, oh, like immediately, and you look, and it's Waterdeep.
All right. And
she kind of hardly, if she notices you, she doesn't really acknowledge. She's just kind of looking. And then, what's his name? Comes over again, the Yeti guy. He comes over to her table again, and he brings her a drink, and you can hear he's like, anything else you'd like, Maxine? And she's like, no, thank you. And he's like, are you sure? I can bring you some food? And he's like, no, that's fine.
You know, the
So-
ale here has recently been blessed by Bacchus.
I say, excuse me? Yes?
The ale here has recently been blessed by Bacchus. Give it a try.
Oh. She kind of like looks confused and puts two and two together. Oh, well, perhaps if so, then yes, I'll have some. Oh, on the house, Maxine, for you always. And he hustles off and goes and gets her.
Oh,
You can tell he's kind of got a crush on her, and she's
Yeah.
like just cold on him, eh? She's just cold.
Carl,
I was about to, like, ale's always on the house. You must be a very important person here.
Well, I'll be here on behalf of Lady Lirel Silverhand. Official business.
Oh yeah, we just had a powwow with her a little bit ago over helping to keep violence from erupting as that cloud giant castle was overhead.
and
And she kind of, I knew it. I keep telling everyone, we have to do something before this gets out of hand. And she
Yeah,
says,
and
and your
we
name
did.
is? And your name is?
I am Nicodemus, the satyr, priest of Bacchus, defender of Bryn Shander, and slayer of the frost giant Queen Trufi.
Oh,
Perhaps you, and I bow lightly, and as I bow, my cloak will flutter behind me.
oh, well, please. Come join me.
Yes, may
Come
I
join me,
bring my
all of you.
condolences to the fellow defenders of Bryn Shander, and I wave.
Oh,
you guys.
welcome. It's so nice to meet you all.
Yes,
That's nice to meet you
here,
too.
we're here because we've heard that there's been hill giant issues and raids going on around here. We figured we could use our expertise to help deal with it.
and Carl will say it's a pleasure to meet my next wife.
Oh yes, he's the player this one.
He's building
Hi,
a
my name is-
collection.
My name is Maxine Drathkala, and you can see she's, kind of like a scholarly looking. Like she looks very paperwork. Looks like a bureaucrat.
Sometime you want to get together and exchange and appreciate each other's paperwork. I have several good scrolls, and the lady from Waterdeep actually gave us a warrant / charter to protect the people.
As I tell Miros, I am here for business and not pleasure. But if you have
What's your
information,
business?
especially from the lady, I would be more than willing to hear about that.
Well, is not business pleasure?
I like the way you think. And she pushes up her glasses. And she says, so, you all know the lady?
Well,
We
wait,
met her recently.
Of course we do. She is such a sweet person and understanding. She listened to us and assisted us in our endeavors to protect Waterdeep and protect the people there. And boy, does she have a library.
Oh. The documents stored at Castle Waterdeep could... Oh my.
And
Second only to Candle Keep, I'm sure.
And the ancient ones are specially guarded, but yet only I and some of the other few were pleasured by being able to have access and see them. Sometime we'll have to talk.
She says, well, I'm official liaison for the lady. as a representative of Waterdeep here at Golden Fields, and
Oh,
that's what I do. Special liaison.
so
And
you're like,
especially now, the harvest has only begun. Like, tomorrow it'll be in full swing. By the end of the week, she motions, she says, the place will be almost bare.
Yes, but do you got a good tally on everything?
There will be.
Hmm. It takes good skill and quick and talented fingers to keep tally of that, along with a sharp business mind like yours, I bet.
It's usually something that we, do once the storehouses are full. She says, even now, she says, they're quite full, but it's amazing at how the druids are able to coax the bounty out of the earth. It's astounding. They get more than one harvest. Most places, where they might only harvest something once a season, they'll get multiple harvests here. And the things they grow, lemons, banana. Have you ever had a banana? They have bananas here. When you have breakfast, ask for a banana.
do they
Yeah.
make beer out of bananas?
I don't know. Personally, I don't know the recipe to Golden Gulp. Usually, I don't drink for pleasure, only as a occasional refreshment.
You should
Well, seeing
see
as how
if you're impressed with those bananas,
banana,
that you should see the grapes and the fruit that we've seen and brought seeds with us from. They were as big as a frost giant's head.
oh my. Well, that would not only be interesting to me, but all the
Our
worshippers of Shantaea here, that
our
even the devil
friend
himself.
our friend Cloud has some of those seeds, I believe.
He is
Oh,
the druid who can track the get the bounty out of the earth.
oh. She says, do you know what my favorite thing is about a banana?
Are they giant bananas? Because I bet Cloud could find a seed from Zephyrin that would make a banana 10 times as big as the bananas that you're used to.
Oh, and then you can make a banana hammock.
That could be.
Do you know what my favorite thing about a banana is?
It's slippery.
They're so long, and she looks at you, and firm. And I love to take one and grab my hand around it and hold it gently yet firmly. And then I take my other hand and I snap the end off.
And when
Had a
she
feeling it
does
was going that way.
when she does that, the Garl will wince a bit.
She looks a little bit smug when she makes you actually flinch. And she says, but, the things that grow are amazing. She says, the wheat fields, the barley fields, orchards, herb gardens. Even the animals themselves seem to, like, the pigs are fatter and the chickens lay more eggs and the cows give more milk.
Now I've seen where a good song or two has made the cows give rich butter-filled milk there, and it was I've heard of a bard that was so good that she even had the cows giving cheese instead, and Garl scratch his head and chin and say, I think that the bard's name was Silence, I think. Back in Waterdeep, she showed her abilities as such and had the cows giving some good cheese instead of just plain milk.
Well, That would be wonderful. But my suggestion would be that you were to wait a minute, because it should be time, and then her words get lost behind a boom, boom. You guys can hear like the the giant bell in the temple not far from where you guys are rings, and it just resounds and it covers her words. And she says, Abbott will have his mass.
Yeah, best to wait after the maths.
She says, oh, it's not long, dear. He holds mass 3 times a day just for the workers, and the druids and those who wish can go and give a quick thanks and a prayer. She says, after mass, she says, most of the workers take that to also use those to synchronize the work shifts. So that also means that work is done now for the day. People will be heading in from the fields and everything to come home to have a meal. Do what they may till sun down and time to sleep. But it all begins again. The cycle, the cycle they all talk about. Things, how they go round and round. One thing eats another, and then it poops on the ground, and somehow again we eat it.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't study the dogma of it. I'm not here to study the religion. I'm here to keep relationships good with Golden Fields. After all, it is a somewhat sensitive location, especially with what's going on now. With all the giants and the marshal doing nothing. Oh,
But they did something. They sent us here.
well, leave it up to the lady to finally intercede somewhat. She's not one for interjecting her opinion on others, but to send adventurers here to at least hint to the marshal? I mean, the abbot is behind 100% of taking whatever precautions are needed to guard the city, but... And Tarn? Or, what's his name? Hatanis? Tarn? And she motions to the south where he came. She says, he's the keeper of the gate. I know him from back in Waterdeep. He's a moron. What does he know about keeping gate guards? And between him and the lazy marshal, it's just an accident waiting to happen.
Or a well-planned out plan to be implemented.
She nods. The Yeti dude, he comes, he brings some food. You do see the people start coming in more, and it starts filling up. As workers do return from the fields and stuff like that. You can even see that there's the abbot. It looks like, because you could see a priestly person come in with a couple acolytes, and they are doing the handshakes from right as soon as they're coming into the door. They're stopping and talking, and and getting delayed, and a lot of handshaking and hugging. Oh, thank you, and oh yes, and of course, and Can I tell you guys a quick joke? Because I just pictured okay. But it's funnier. You got to think Pope John Paul. I don't know why. It's just funnier that way. At least in my mind, it is. Okay, these two guys from Kentucky. No, I don't know. Decide they're going to go to Rome. They want to go to the Vatican. They want to go see the Pope. Just want to. And of course, it's not happening now because you couldn't get there. But they want to see the Pope. They decide, well, we got our best chance of seeing the Pope if we actually stay at the Vatican. Well, where do we stay? Well, let's just stay. You know, like there's always tourists around. Why don't we just stay on the stairs like all the time? We'll take water. He's like, well, what are we gonna eat? Well, we can even take like a hibachi. Great. So they go buy a hibachi and they're on the stairs and they're camping out all day. You know, there's other tourists around and taking pictures and whatnot, and they're waiting, and they can see like the guards and everything. They're waiting to see the Pope cooking on the, sitting on the steps, cooking the hibachi, having a drink, right? One guy goes, I got to go piss. He goes, I'm going to go over here in the bushes, take a piss. So he goes over and he hops over a railing and finds a bush to get behind and takes down his pants, starts relieving himself. And when he's coming down the stairs of the Vatican, he sees the Pope with an escort of other priests and stuff. And you can see his buddy stands up and he's like, holy shit, the Pope's coming now, and and I'm gonna miss it all. And he sees the Pope walk up to his buddy and stands on the stairs and they're talking, and he even sees the Pope like lift his hand and makes the sign of the cross. Makes the sign of the cross and everything, and he's like, oh my god, I can't believe he got blessed. And then they leave his friend standing there, and he finishes, he shakes it off, he puts it back, does up his pants, he runs over, he's like, I can't believe it, I had to take a piss right when you got blessed by the Pope. And his buddy goes, not exactly. And he's like, well, what happened? I saw him make like the sign of the cross. And he's like, no, he's like, you, the hibachi, your friend, out of here.
Uh-huh.
You, point,
Yeah.
hibachi, point,
Yeah.
your friend, point,
Yeah.
out of here.
Okay. The Holy Cross. The true religion of any true griller / barbecuer.
You, the hibachi, your friend, out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. Anyways, I sorry you guys didn't enjoy as much as I do, but yeah. So her name is Maxine. She's a liaison from Waterdeep. It looks like the Yeti dude has kind of a crush on her. After the mass, some people are kind of coming in. You are all talking when suddenly, right beside you, silence. You hear a voice. Pardon me there, lovely lady.
Oh, hello.
And you look down and you can see, or you look over, you see nothing. You look down and you see a halfling dressed like Fabio from a romance novel cover, with like the ruffly shirt and the tight pants and the riding boots, a broad
dear
belt,
Lord.
dagger, and a dagger that is like exactly that the most well-dressed men in Waterdeep are wearing right now as an accessory.
And the poofy hair.
Yes, the poofy hair. And he is holding a walking stick with like even a handkerchief. He's holding it with a handkerchief. And he has like a lute or a mandolin or some sort of stringed instrument over his back. And he says, oh, my lady, I hear that your song is as lovely as your appearance. And he smells of wine already.
I turn to Guile and say, I think I prefer your flirting.
This isn't, trust me, lady, you would know if I was flirting.
And Garl's
I hope so. I can't tell. It's so poor.
going to say to Silence. I think that's that drunk that they were telling us about that goes around town playing and claiming that they got some talent and are some sort of bard or something.
I used to have a drinking problem, but I now live here at the North Borough's end. All the beer I can drink, no more problem.
Yes, I see that one there, Mr. Fancy. But I'd watch yourself, Silence,
I know.
because your skills are better than his.
Yeah. Tell you what, if he gets too close, you have my permission to stab him.
You are invited, of course, to share the stage with me. I am going to go and tune my instrument and wet my whistle before I begin. But anytime you should choose to join me, you are more than welcome. And he gives like a bow with like
I
the
quite
one
assure
foot.
you, I like to keep the stage for myself.
Well, as you wish, but it is my nightly ritual to entertain the thralls as they dine for sup.
Well, let's see what this drunk loot thinks of music.
And he kind of gets lost in the crowd. He meanders off. But way on the distance, you can hear like kind of like a ding, 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 kind of me, 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 me.
I just turn to the rest of the group and say, arse violin.
and
As some say in my place, Arschgeige. His arse is a violin. Which is an actual German swear.
hello,
Arschgeige.
I believe it. I'm just trying to think of the context. So, is that good or bad?
It's an insult. It's like calling someone an arsehole, but it's a slightly more fancy version. So you're basically calling them, well, an arse violin.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Huh.
It's arsehole, but also mixed with the music sense. So that's why I called him an arse violin.
No, that was good. I just like the saying. I want to hear it again in German or whatever, though. What'd you call it? Arschkagen?
Arsch, as in arse.
Yeah.
Geige,
Oh, Geige.
as in violin.
Okay. Huh. Okay. And I wonder. Let's see here. Why wonder? Why wonder when I can? Oh, there you go. Okay. This is gonna. He 20 for performance.
And
So he's quite good.
well, while he after he finishes and he's looking for the applause, Garl will go ahead with his staff and have a turkey gobble. Hey, I'm supporting our local bard.
But like I said, he's kind of like, you can hear him tuning up and you hear him me, 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 me. And when he sings, he doesn't have that weird timbre to his voice at all. You almost are pretty sure that like maybe he's doing a silly voice when he talks, because when he's singing, he certainly doesn't have that timbre at all.
Okay.
He's quite good and quite entertaining.
Are there some patrons that are close by to Garl, say within
sure.
easy
Yeah.
earshot?
Yeah.
And what Garl will do is incite the crowd then with rumor, by going saying, "Silence, silence, silence," off to the one side, and look over to the other to say, "Silence, silence," and trying to get the crowd to go for silence.
You're kind of trying, and it kind of like, people are kind of like, because you're just saying silence, you're chanting silence, so people are kind of looking at you a little awkward for a little bit, but then all of a sudden, what's his name? The Yeti dude, he hears you from off to the side from behind the bar, and he starts, "Silence, silence, silence," and he starts chanting, and then others kind of pick it because he's so loud. And right away, people are kind of turning and looking, and then people are cluing in. Oh, it must be. And then other people are chanting, and all of a sudden,
and Garl will be pointing at silence.
When suddenly you hear a whistle, and you hear, "Attention everybody! We have a special guest today. Someone has traveled all the way from the wonderful city of splendors itself, Waterdeep. We have the renowned musician and orator." Silence. And he bows and hops off the stool. And people begin. People are looking around quite excitedly because they're like, "Why? Oh, someone else, someone different, different entertainment." Different entertainment from the nightly same entertainment. People are
real entertainment.
Right, guys. I think I might need to roll out all the stops of this, and I need some liquid courage.
Here you go. I'll take my jug and I'll pour out the thing, and then when I hand it to her, I'll say a little prayer over and give you a guidance D4, and I'll be like, "You'll have backup." And I'll sit there behind her and start dancing around a little bit. She starts to play with my pipe to aid her performance, thus giving her advantage.
Okay, I'm gonna go use a bio, and I'll come back and we'll begin this because Oren, the little halfling, has already showed up at your table, and he's like holds out his elbow to like escort you, but he's like tiny.
I do not take his elbow.
Okay, that's okay, but he like kind of goes ahead of you to lead you straight up to the way. He shows you like where you have like your choice of like a stool, a stair. He says like and he says it in like a totally normal voice too. He's like, "There's a music stand." He's like, "I can get you something to drink or a little table for your drinks. Is there anything you'd like for like lighting or you know?" He's really accommodating your needs for the beginning of the, even like if you have a case, like he'll like take the case off to the side so you're not fiddling with the case, right? He'll like, he helps you to get ready for your performance, even if you're like, "Oh, I want to actually slip out of my armor or whatever." He'll actually like help. He like is, you know what I mean? He's like actually being like a good little stage manager, helping you out with. Even he does go like, there's a couple like candles with reflectors. He even does go, once you sit down, he does go and adjust them to like your height on the stool, so that it's not really a spotlight, but it does put brightness on you, right? Just like enough where, because you're kind of like in a corner where the only other illumination is that there's a fireplace off to the side. There are no tables behind you. There's only like some shelves and some windows and some plants, some drapes, some carpeting, and you're on like a little wooden riser in that area with like a stool, and there's a music stand and stuff like that. And like I won't call it a stage though. Like don't. It's still you're still in the room on the floor with everyone else. It's just to give a little bit of projection.
Hey, I performed on worse.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually quite nice. It's very intimate, and the acoustics of the room itself are quite nice here in the corner and everything. It's not a performance hall, but people will certainly be able to enjoy your performance. But I'm going to go use a bio beer back.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Straight away, I know I need my full charisma of 4 plus 4. I think I can add my proficiency bonus. That's another plus 3.
Well, yeah, it's your performance because you'll probably be doing your performance skill,
Yeah.
which would be your charisma plus your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus.
So it's +7, and then plus a D4. I'll roll it for you if you wish.
Okay. So already I have a D20 with a 7 modifier.
Yep. And I'm going to try to see if I can get you advantage with it by helping you out by having the finches sing lightly sing along or chirp along with your music.
That'd be great.
Well, I can play the pipes behind hers. I've always done to give her advantage.
Yeah,
I
that
rolled
would
a D4
that would
for
give
you.
her advantage too. So it doesn't matter which way we give you advantage. That way you get 2 rolls.
Right?
2
And,
rolls.
I mean, you can't
Okay.
double advantage, you still both do it. And so that would be a 3 for the guidance. So that would be a total of roll 2d20, take the best, and then add 10.
Then add 10. Okay.
Yeah. So
I already rolled twice with my +7 modifier. I got 16 and 15, but that's +10, so that's 25 and 26.
yeah. So you take the 26.
And
Yeah,
you
I'll take
got
the 26.
Yeah. When I said you roll twice, that's just the aspect of advantage or disadvantage, and whether you take high or low. Advantage high of the 2 rolls, or disadvantage low of the 2 rolls. So with us helping you, you're going to have advantage. So you take the best of the 2, which would be the 26.
So I'm taking 26 for this. Okay, great. That's not that bad.
That's better than what Short Britches did.
What did he do again?
20.
Just a 20.
Not just a 20. That's pretty good, but it's just that we're trying to boost you and make you important, shucker him down, and then by you being important to the crowd, it makes us, your groupies, important to the crowd.
Yep, that's true. That's one thing about fame, it reflects off onto others.
Yes, it can. But with it, when there's a big fall, that can go off onto others too.
Yep, that's what we have to be careful about. I wonder what he can be bioing on. Stats? Surely can't be the stats. We know the stats.
No, bio is just a bathroom break.
Ah, got it. I've never heard it in that term, but well, I know now.
Well, we use that term a lot, and there's others in the RPG community that stream that will use that term. It's just a little more tactful, I guess. Would you say that?
Yeah, it sounds better
Mike?
on a YouTube video.
Well, it's even if you're at a table, hey, I need a bio instead of hey, I need to hit the head. Yes, we have the Battle of the Bards.
It should be interesting.
Okay, so Nicodemus is gonna join in the performance as well.
Yep.
And
I know
what Garl will try to do with his staff of the birds is have the finches chirp lightly with her playing.
Yeah, so totally roll with like advantage.
We have already done that. We have calculated up all the numbers, and my highest is 26.
Oh wow. Resounding applause. Everybody is thrilled to pieces because, as I said before, to have new entertainment, that in itself, like you could suck and they would still love you, but the fact that you're like fantastic, that is
What's our little halfling bard friend doing?
Sitting there, like listening to you guys, like tapping his foot and just drinking with a drink in his hand, drinking from it almost all the time.
Okay, so he's not getting green with envy or jealousy.
Oh no, he's like a halfling. He's like enjoying like the luxury of it,
Okay.
of getting good entertainment.
Well, I can respect that.
No, he yeah. You guys are loved for it.
Woohoo!
Loved for it.
Yes.
And like in fact, like I'm sure you guys probably tie one on with several other people. It's like
And it is and this is my fault. I forgot the halfling's name. I know earlier in the game.
Orin?
Orin, yeah. There's Orin hanging with us and drinking and
for sure.
and carousing.
Oh yeah, carousing.
At some
Word.
juncture that would bring Garl close to Orin.
Mm-hmm.
Garl will try to pick his pocket.
Okay. You get like a plectrum and some rosin.
Okay.
It's something.
Garl will go ahead and make sure he puts that in his bag of holding.
Oh, and I invented a meme. But I don't know how to make a meme. But anyways, when it comes to plectrums, I'm picky.
Okay. Not just the standard little TikTok.
No, I specifically use Dunlop Jazz 3s.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen those.
They're smaller and they're like, what are they, like 1.56 millimeters.
Wow. That is.
And I've been using the black ones, which are what, I don't know what they are. There's black and red. I don't really care about the color. There's supposed to be a difference. One's nylon and one's something else. But I think that the black ones have a darker attack. On it.
Okay.
Anyways, that's.
So there's actually a difference in the sound or tone.
At least on an acoustic instrument. Like, I don't like to use the black ones on an acoustic guitar. It seems like I lose all the brightness.
Okay.
On the guitar. I lose all the jangle. I'll go to just like a Fender medium type thing, regular style pick for acoustic. Just to get some of that flickety, flickety, flickety. But anyways. But yeah, anyways, when it comes to plectrums, I'm picky.
Mm.
And I am. But yeah, he's like a dirt poor musician who plays for pay, or you know what I mean. He gets paid with like beer, a place to stay, and food. Yeah, he has kind of nothing.
He's in. It's all about the art for him.
Oh, it is.
Not the status.
It is. It is. And of course he's a halfling, right? So creature features.
Yep.
And you guys can have a thing like a hoedown and a bender all night. Sometime, and I'm talking like 2 a.m. Oren eventually leaves. But he literally just goes like stumbling out into the darkness. And if ever asked about him, they just say, "Oh, he just wanders around for inspiration at nighttime in a drunk." You usually find him somewhere passed out in the morning. Could be anywhere.
Oh, okay.
That's just what he does.
So we don't need to
drinks himself to a blackout and then wanders off.
We don't have to worry about his health or protection.
No, someone will find him.
And do you want to worry about his health and protection?
Of course I do.
I don't.
Always want to worry about his health and protection, because we don't need fingers pointing at us just because and saying that we did him in because he was going against you or trying to pick you up. Silence. Let him go down the road another night or so, whatever, where we won't be blamed.
He says that he has, like the owner, the Yeti guy. I keep forgetting his name right now. Miras, I think. He says he has, like, about 2 a.m. is also when he signs out. He says, "I gotta go." He says, "I gotta be up in the morning and clean. Well, I'll have to clean this place and get breakfast going." And he says, but he hands over 2 keys. There's 2 rooms for you guys to share.
Okay.
He says, "For all your hard work," he says, "tonight's accommodations are on me." And he says, "And I'll see you folks in the morning." Maxine is long gone. She's like,
"Oh shoot, you."
She's not a long up nighty staper. Like, she probably went up, retired about before 10.
You blew my line on that one, but that's all right.
Oh yeah, no, she does. She's like the one who doesn't stay and party. She just doesn't. She just doesn't.
It fits the personality that you were building around her.
Oh, it's even she's like just
all business.
And yes, as morning, and you know it's morning because boom.
No, it's morning because
that's 9 a.m.
My pounding and there's no more ale left. That's how I know it's morning.
That's and it's even late morning. It's like 9 a.m. If anyone is still sleeping. Boom. Boom. The town is an ag town. It's a hustle and a bustle. It's like already been going for like 3-4 hours. It's already been full business. The downstairs of the inn is immaculate again. Even some spills that happened appear to be gone on like, because there is like rug like down the center aisle and stuff, cleaned up really nice. The owner is there, and he's like, in fact, when you're coming down the stairs, it's one of the first things you hear, his mighty voice talking, and laughing, and you notice that there is even like light dining music, and you come down, and Oren is there, cleaned up, playing very softly, just background music, as people are eating breakfast and having a drink and talking business. And
Carl will turn to Nicodemus and say, Nicodemus, they didn't wait for you to do the morning blessing.
What is wrong with them? As I take out my jug
Sacrilege!
and start pouring everybody's cup with a bit of the hair of the dog from last night. There we go. This is the blessing of prophets in the morning. That'll put lead in your pencil.
You hear someone make a comment about, oh, the abbot has competition.
No, for without the abbot there is no beer. The growing of barley and hops and fine yeast is what makes this possible. Along with the blessing of the abbot and the blessing of Bacchus, we together as a team will make this place a decent beer to live in. In the interim, everybody, would you quit ringing that bell like that?
Yeah. The owner there, he will serve you guys food and drink. And when I say food, you're at an inn, you come down for breakfast, you're like, I want breakfast. You might get like a watery porridge or maybe like cold meat from the night before or something like that, right? You come here, you get like the eggs, the sausages, you get fruits, you get a couple different cheeses. There's even some like dried fruits on the tray, like raisins and type of stuff, dried apples, a couple different cheeses, bread, which is still steaming. And then, like you said, you get like the eggs and the sausages and ham and bacon, all served on like a bed of like fried potatoes. And there's butter, and there's there's the cream, and there's pots of jam, pot of some sort of nut butter, maybe not necessarily peanut butter, but some sort of nut butter.
Nutella.
Yeah. There's like, you guys have never eaten food. Like, there's everything.
Carl will look around to see if he can find Maxine. If she no, then after smelling the sausages and hopefully some of the fried bacon, he'll say, "Praise the bacon god for what he has provided."
I love bacon.
Oh, the bacon god is mighty tasty.
That's a god I could pray to.
Amen, brother. Break a stick.
He says, your Brachus doesn't, does he have like the domain of bacon too?
I imagine that he is so great and his mighty mouthpiece here, Nicodemus, could testify of great deeds that Bacchus has done. Someone that talented, guaranteed he could have a golden flavored bacon drink and eat.
Don't get me wrong, I can't make alcohol out of bacon, but I do believe that if you put some fried bacon in your ale, it tastes even better. Pump it up
Yeah.
there, drink your breakfast. That is how Bacchus meant for it to be done.
You see, like, the bullseye lantern go off over his head. Bacon flavored ale.
There you go, try it. And I'll walk over, I'll grab a piece of bacon, I'll start crumbling it up in the ale I poured in. Boom. Drink that down, Sonny. Tell me.
He'll grab it, and he will, as he ponders each sip, and you see him chewing the bits that he collects.
Nourishment is to
Wanders.
drink, not chewed.
There's something to it.
Remember, we have the copyright and trademark to that.
I'll even put a satyr on the mug.
There you go. Sounds like a winner.
So, when can we talk to the captain of the guard about possibly being hired to investigate some hill giants?
Anytime. He usually comes in at least once a day on his rounds.
Well, then let's stay here and wait for him. In the interim, drink your breakfast up, lads. As I'll pour another round of ale out of my alchemy jug.
Not long after, in walks a person in religious garb. The abbot.
Would you please stop ringing that bell?
Oh, I do apologize. I know that the proximity here to the inn sometimes can cause a headache for those who have partook in the previous night, but I do try to keep my prayer schedule at 3 times a day, 9 something and 6. I don't remember now. He says, I ring the bell. He says, normally I only ring the bell once, but sometimes one of the bears will, once you ring the bell, the rope continues to move, and sometimes one of the bears will grab the rope, and it takes some time to get him to stop tugging. That's why it rang for a time today.
Did we tell you about the time that we were in Nightstone where we relieved it of a goblin invasion after a attack, where we found a goblin on the church rope bell, sitting there bouncing up and down on it, constantly ringing that bell too?
Oh. Well, similar thing, I would think. I should think a bear would be at least as intelligent as a goblin. Or the other way around.
Well,
whichever is less insulting to the bear, of course.
We slew that. Now, maybe you should tell that story to your bell ringer. Not necessarily that I'm threatening him or anything. Of course not. But, maybe that might help.
I will. That's a coincidence. Perhaps that's why the bears were wandered into the town here like last fall, nearly a year ago, and we don't know how they would have got within the walls. Like, there was no bears within the walls, but they wandered into town and they have made themselves at home at the temple. I'm assuming it's some sort of blessing of Shantea. They seem to be no harm. One can even manhandle, and they'll warn you if they don't want to be disturbed, but they've never bitten or attacked or nothing. In fact, they're quite friendly and curious.
Well, good Abbot, you know there may be a solution.
Mhm.
What you do is you take that bell out and replace it with one that's closer to the earth, one made of the heart of one of the oaks of life, or the heart of an ironwood tree. It would fit the surrounding so much, since you in this community grow so much, and this is a fruit of nature coming forth to ring out its mellow tones.
Yes, but the bell can be heard from wall to wall. It's miles. Even if you notice,
Yeah,
up on
I
the
know.
walls, each of
I
the
know.
guard towers have gongs. The guard towers are separated by a mile. But if I ring the bell, they all, 2 miles away at least. It calls in the workers. That's why I try to ring the bell regularly, at my 3 times a day. It helps to unite us all. It's like the lady's voice calling us all in to thanks. If not, even the workers in the fields can hear it, and often will put their hoes or rakes down or tools down and face towards and send their thoughts towards us, and we all share that time unified. But
Garl, look at Nicodemus. It would just look like I tried.
oh, now I'm getting a phone call. Hold on, you guys.
All right.
All right.
I tried to make it a softer tone.
Whatever. No, I'm gaming. Gaming today. It's Tuesday. Oh, that's it? All right. All right. Bye. Hey, father-in-law, of course, he phones me every Tuesday to be like, oh, so what are you doing? Gaming. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. Oh, I'll let you. Every fucking Tuesday.
And don't bust on us,
all right.
old men. We don't have good memories.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna be one soon myself. I'm 48, so it's just oh. Anyways,
Yeah.
So that was it. Yeah, it's he says, but it's nice to see adventurers here. He says, I've been requesting the marshal up security ever since the last event. That and now that the harvest is about to come in, like to any emotions. He says, like today. He says it's like that. We don't want like the trade line to Waterdeep to be threatened. He says it's our bounty has come to fruition now. We're reaping our rewards.
We cleared the trade route when we came on up.
Oh, is that so? Did you see any sign of giants?
If there were only some people around who had experience in dealing with giants, who wear medals such as these, declaring themselves as the defenders of Brimshander, the slayer of the frost giant queen Trufi, defenders of Iron Spear and Firefly and all other places.
And don't forget, we have the special tunes and melodies of silence, the great, the giant dancer. She's better than the Pied Piper with rats. She'll play and the giants will dance off in misery.
Now, this is flattery I like. Works with the character as well.
Yeah.
The giant's dancing off.
Trying to play in a twist there on the one that was on the road as we come on up that was missing her sweet thing.
I was thinking that as well.
But he agrees wholeheartedly that you guys are necessity. In fact, he even says he even thanks Shantea for bringing you guys here. Because he's been suggesting that they get extra security, but it's been hard to get that through to Strog, and eventually, you guys know why. Later that day, in does come strolling in. Comes, he's quite tall. And he looks like when he was in his youth, he would have been quite a physical specimen, I guess you could say. But now that he looks like he's over the hump of middle age, he's got the big trucker gut. This guy is the marshal, and he's a half-orc. And he comes in with his thumbs hooked in his belt, and his round gut, and his strong barrel legs like tree trunks. And he's not as barrel-chested as Miras, but he's got the big, round, hard trucker gut. And this is the type of guy where, in high school, he was quarterback of the football team. But now he comes in and he's well met, Miros. And Miros says, yeah, that's right. How's your day been? And he says, well, he sits down on a stool and what was the grunt? And Miro says, these gentlemen over here, we're hoping to introduce themselves. And Strong turns over. He's, well, Matt. And he looks all you. He says, I don't know none of you.
Well, Tiny, you got the pleasure of your day. You got some real warriors here today to cover your bacon. Praise the bacon god. And such.
Is that a reference to my heritage? As he scratches his piggish, half-orc nose.
I look at him and go why? Why would it be?
Well,
if the oinker fits, toot it. That's all I say.
so what all y'all want to talk to me about?
Well, many of your patrons here have been saying they are worried and concerned about hill giant issues that have been raiding and pillaging, and since it's harvest time, they're greatly concerned about it, and they are wondering if you could hire us to help assist in the guarding of the caravan, since we have much experience in this giant department. For example, you may not be aware, but I am Nicodemus, priest of Bacchus, who, the defender of Bryn Shander, and I'll hold out my medal that I got, slayer of the frost giant Queen Goofy, defender of Fireshear, drove off some frost giant raiders from
Xantherals or whatever. It was spelled an X, eh?
Yeah. Long list of fussing.
Yeah.
My cloak will flutter and no breeze at all.
Well, raises an eyebrow. You don't common magic like that. That's well. Some people do tend to panic over things, especially simple folk like most people around here. Greenfields has stood a long time against giants and such, and I don't think they're much threat against these walls. They're 60 feet high on the outside.
Yeah, but in case you didn't notice that your caravan, your transport of grain goes beyond these walls.
My jurisdiction stays within these walls as well, so what happens outside of that, it's not really my problem.
See,
You're right. Never mind. We thought that you were someone important. Forgive us.
See, and just to give you a heads up there, Tiny, last night when we were having a grand old time in here, there was a lot of rumors I picked on up where a lot of the patrons here are wondering if you're in cahoots with the giants by not taking action and allowing the opportunity to go ahead and pillage their hard work. Now, we're here to save your bacon. We're not saying that you're guilty of such things. I'm just saying this is what the rumors and the perspective of some of the common folk that sweat so hard in these fields were wondering, since you rebuffed them so much.
He seems non-flustered. He says, people talk. I've heard talk my whole life. He says, I tell you what, you're so enthusiastic about it. How about, and he slams a fist down, he goes, if you kill any giants here at Golden Fields, I'll pay you for each one of their heads. He goes, but I don't think it's all panic. It's all just media. It's all fake news.
Fake news. Could you barter with him over a price? Get us the best price possible per head.
Well, I'm known as I'm a very stable genius. I'll pay you the best price. It'll be a most beautiful price. It'll be the most beautiful 100 gold.
We're looking for a number.
I don't know. 100 gold a head? I don't know. Sure. 100 gold a head. I think that's what it was in Bryn Shander, eh? 100 gold a head.
Well, that's, to me, over here, Tiny, seems pretty good to be able to, that and the aspect to claim that it's a gnome that yanked your fat out of the fire.
Well, it ain't the first time I've been yanked by a gnome.
But not with a skill like this.
That's true.
Garl's shameless, though.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems like he doesn't think that Golden Fields is threatened at all. He just doesn't. And he does seem like he's kind of lazy. He's just got his position and he does his daily rounds and does his stuff with the guards, and that's about it. Like, he just is very settled into the job. He doesn't take the threat very serious. But he does say he will pay you 100 a head if but what's gonna happen? Like, what's gonna happen?
want to pay us a whole bunch of gold, so we want to kill a whole bunch of hell giants. That's what's going to happen.
Well, be that as it may.
Cloud giants have flying castles that drop rocks down. The walls mean nothing to them. But,
Ah, fake news. Fake news. I didn't see it. I don't believe it. Stories travel. Like an avalanche. The farther they travel, the bigger they get.
Yes,
That's
and
it. I'll. You guys killed. If you guys kill any giants around here, I'll give you 100 a head.
all right. Can we have that in writing? Or
Yes,
can't
please
you
have it
write?
in writing.
Or can't you write there, Tiny?
Yeah, but this is something that's official. Either you guys come to the tower, or I can get a messenger dispatched here later.
What do you say? We follow him to the tower. Maybe we'll make sure he gets to work. Hello?
I'm here.
Hello.
Oh, okay. I thought all of a sudden something froze and died.
No. I was waiting for a response from someone too, but so yeah, either way, you guys can get into official. If you guys want to just follow him back to the tower, because he's got to get over there and organize the next shift or whatever. And it is like another like couple miles. It takes you like almost a half hour to walk there. But it's
Garl would go with him, and as Garl
let's just assume everyone does, because I know Nicodemus wants to go see the brewery.
Yeah. But Garl will be treating them like an old man or old woman, like a Boy Scout would, trying to help him across the road, and really getting very dramatic about it, trying to make it look like it's Garl helping him, not Garl following him for.
He kind of doesn't notice, because like he's a really like
He's probably a good close to 4 to 5 feet taller than Garl, and so you don't notice Garl.
Yeah, and his attention is on everybody. His attention is on everybody else, and more as in like the attention they give him. Right? He stops to shake hands with everybody, talk to everybody about the actual like kind of policing. Very little of it. Like. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. As you guys eventually make your way to the tower. You guys like go through the road, and there's fields, and you guys of course see wheat fields, barley fields. You do pass where the hops are. The windmill. There's like, you can see that's like there's like there's like a little stone bridge you guys pass over, like because there's like a stream made by the freshwater creek, which is like fresh, fed by a natural spring. Where the brewery is, you guys can see that there is like basically a keep. And he says the brewery itself is in the keep, and attached to the keep is a tower. He says, me and the guards are run out of the tower. And the brewery the keep right adjacent to the keep is another longhouse. And he says, and that's where the workers to the brewery live. So that's kind of that. And this is like out in the middle of the fields. But it's like a well-used road. You can tell that like barrel-laden wagons, travel from here to the North Furrows End and beyond. There are a lot of guards. Like it's like a barracks. Like there's lots, and you could see that in groups of walk in smaller groups, and they're leaving from these roads and trails that radiate. He says, we mostly patrol near the walls. There are castle guards on top of the walls. I mostly do like the policing inside. So that's the thing. Anything that wants to come at us has to come past the walls and those guards. So for something to get in here, not likely. But Michael, Nicodemus,
Yes.
the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Within the adventure itself, there is no restriction. I mean, no admittance. It is restricted to everybody, but the workers.
Well, I make beer, therefore I am a worker.
And I was just gonna say, however, because of your special character design, you are allowed special discompensation. They see it as, again, a sign from Shantea that,
Hand in hand with Bacchus.
or yeah, exactly. They see that, like, and let's even talk a little bit of deity mechanics in Dungeons and Dragons. The whole major deity, minor deity type thing. I would say that Shantea, well, she's a major deity, isn't she? So anything that even Bacchus does, which like it would be under her umbrella, right? Do you know what I mean? Because like, yes, it would be. It certainly would be.
Not the way I see it.
Well, that's. I know you don't, but D&D mechanics, because it's like, think of a god of pain, and then there's a god of murder. They're related, right? And it's like basically the lower works for the higher, almost. But it's aspects of divinity. It's levels of divinity. And they see you, a satyr, priest of Bacchus showing up. That's just, you were just sent by Shantea. Almost. They're sure that this is part of their recognition, especially at this time, the beginning of like basically the official harvest. It may not be the harvest holiday, but it's, the work has begun on harvest. You are admitted in.
I see Shantae as, don't get me wrong, very important, no disrespect intended. But we take what she produces and turn into something more useful and grander. We make her better.
Yeah.
We're like Siemens. We don't make most of the products you buy. We make most of the products you buy better.
I like the commercial.
Here's a pamphlet. Do more reading. You get special admittance into it. Yeah. You even get to see the yeast
Ooh.
kept down in the dungeon. In like what used to be like a dungeon. And it goes, and you go down, there's like barrels.
Is there a dragon there too?
No,
In the dungeon?
no, but they do take you down to like into dungeons past like storage, and there's like storage of dry goods and storage of barrels, and then you go down, there's like storage of like finished ales, and like you get to see like the big vats, but eventually they take you down and they introduce you to the yeast.
Is it a yeast dragon? Like breath weapon of yeast?
No. It's a chalky, kind of yellowy white substance in a box. It looks like almost like chalk.
May I have a seed of that? I know it's not a seed, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too seed to grow more yeast.
Yeah.
All right. That's a small amount. I personally, me myself, I do not know how to grow yeast or what have you. But I'm sure Nicodemus does.
Yeah. Yeah, he would know exactly what process he needs to do to duplicate it.
Yeah, at the moment, I just buy yeast, you know?
Yeah. And you can.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can, and you will. And you guys can, whoa.
Whoa.
The dog, we got company over the dog barked, it sounded like a chicken.
That's weird.
So yeah, whoever goes with
Down on my character sheet.
whoever, yeah, certainly write down the yeast, Golden Gulp yeast. Strog, he goes like to the tower area. There are guards. He like goes into like the administrative area. There's like a desk and shit, and he fills out like the writes down a paper on like the special like letterhead, and he seals it, and it is a voucher that he will like pay 100 gold giant head, but he's very dubious that like you guys like he's like they can't be shipped in, like I mean like, you're to protect here, so I mean like
what the Garl's really prime purpose on that is so he can see the seal and the signature, so he can copy them.
well, you have official representations of it right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
You get the originals, and then I can practice my forgery on my downtime.
Yep. But you guys do have an agreement with the marshal, but eventually, when like Nicodemus finishes his tour, he comes out. He's like quite happy.
Oh, and while I'm sure, also bless all the the vats and the yeast and give everything a blessing going there.
Nice. You guys, okay. And let's just call it there for this week.
Okay.
Okie dokie doggy daddy.
Sounds reasonable.
And that's it. So I hope this time works for everyone, because like I said, I like being on the. If we would have changed, it would have moved back. Pardon me. What's that, Michael?
When did Jerk stream forward? That was, I suppose, directed to Cat.
Oh.
I don't think it's changed yet.
I don't know if it has for you guys.
What, daylight savings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's when I was in Germany. That changed like a week or two before the U.S.
Oh, you mean you've already sprung forward? My dog is growling at me. I'm gonna go. Okay, fellas.
Yeah, I got to split too, because I gotta